Hey everybody, Keith here. I know you guys, some of y'all have seen me do restaurant reviews. I like to eat. Well, I also like to cook too. Um, I was a cook in the Navy, and after I got out of the Navy, it was the only marketable skill that I had, so I started working in restaurants. I learned a lot from a lot of people, real smart people who went to culinary school. I am not going to culinary school, but I learned a lot about cooking, and I enjoy it. So I would start my new cooking series with grilled cheese sandwich. One of my favorite things to make. Some of y'all have seen me go and post stuff about grilled cheese sandwiches on Facebook all the time because I like making them and eating them. But anyway, this is a simple grilled cheese. I'm using two different types of bread. I don't know if you can see. Thank you, dear, my production assistant here. These small pieces of bread are gluten-free. That's why they look like that, I guess. And the other two bigger pieces are sourdough. I use sourdough when I make my grilled cheese sandwiches because I've tried other bread. Potato bread's pretty good too, but sourdough holds up better. And I like the way it browns, and I like the way it tastes better than potato bread. So, most important thing, the heat's already on the fire over here. I'm gonna turn it down. It might be too hot. You don't want your pan too hot because you'll burn your butter in your bread, and you'll have cold cheese in the middle. So, most important thing is this butter has been out. You leave one stick of butter out, the rest in the refrigerator because you want the butter to be soft. You can't spread it on bread because you'll tear up the bread. Don't use margarine, country crock, none of that crap, okay? That's not good for a grilled cheese sandwich. I've learned that the hard way. Use butter, real butter only. I use unsalted butter just because the sodium intake is less. That's really the only reason, all right? So, as you see, I've made the cheese stacks over here. They're not on the bread yet. What I've used is what you see here is cheddar. In the middle there is aged Swiss, and on top is after that is Munster cheese, and on the top you see is some shredded Parmesan. I try to find sliced Parmesan, but it's very hard to find. And when you try to slice Parmesan off a wheel, it breaks up. But anyway, so not too much butter, but a good amount. You want to spread it all over, but not too much because it'll make the bread soggy. This is going on the outside of both pieces. Okay, you'll see why I'm doing that here in just a minute. And then on my sourdough here, spread it evenly all over. Like I said, not too much because it'll make the bread soggy. And you want that crunch. I mean, that's like one of the best sounds when after you take the grilled cheese off the heat and you cut it, or if you don't cut it, when you bite into it, that crunch. I love that crunch that butter makes on the bread. That's one of my favorite things about eating a grilled cheese sandwich. Okay. All right, let's go over here and test this heat in this pan. The butter's melting, but it's not burning, but I want it to be a little less warm than that. So I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit more. The heat, okay? So now I'm gonna take the pieces of bread that I have buttered and put them in the pan with the butter side down, both of them. I'm not going to put the other pieces in yet. You'll see why here in a little bit. So I take my cheese stacks. This gluten-free bread is pretty small. Kind of move the pieces around like that. So I may have to adjust my stack here just a little bit because the cheese is going to melt on the pan, but that's okay. We don't mind that. And then my other stack here on my sourdough, I can kind of spread that out a little bit more because I have more space on my sourdough. And I want the cheese to cover the whole piece of bread. So I'm going to spread this out a little bit. Now, all this time, this bread is cooking with the butter underneath, okay? All right, so just bear that in mind. You don't want it to get too hot. You don't want it to burn. I think I might need a little bit more heat on that. Put some more butter in this pan. I don't want it to burn. Yeah, I need to turn the heat up a little bit more. Okay. So now I'll take my other two slices of bread, put on top with the butter side up. Can you see the bottom side of the bread? There we go. Okay. All right. You have to watch this. You can't walk away. can't walk away from this because it'll burn easily. So you want to check the bottom. It will brown pretty quickly. It's already brown. Okay. Careful when you flip that over. That could be a little bit darker. I'm gonna hold that bread a little bit when you turn it. You don't want to get butter on your fingers, or not too much. I could have left that on that side a little bit longer, but that's okay. We can. Once the cheese starts to melt and it forms a sandwich a little bit more, you can flip it back over. I'll put that piece of cheese on there. It's gonna make it a little bit. That's a variation that I wasn't really going for. But anyway, the cheese, Parmesan fell out, so I'll put it on top. When I flip it over, it'll make kind of a little crunchy piece from the crust that Parmesan cheese is gonna make when I flip it over. It's gonna be kind of a nice surprise, you know. You think you wouldn't taste it, but Parmesan has a kind of strong, pungent-like flavor, the cheese, and I think it goes great with a grilled cheese sandwich because you really want flavor. I mean, I've done it with American cheese in the past and just American cheese, and that's still a good sandwich, but when you use these different types of cheeses, it really makes the sandwich taste so much better. But remember, you need to check the bottom because you don't want it to burn. That looks pretty good. I can do that a little bit longer. That can definitely go longer. This is a big pan. I wouldn't normally use a pan this big, but I like to do it on a griddle. But where I'm staying right now, this apartment is old. It's a multi-family home, and I'm on the top floor. And if I used the griddle before in a triple circuit breaker, and I don't want to go all the way down to the basement to reset the circuit breaker again, because it's a long way down and it's cold. So anyway, I'm doing it in this pan. But I'm cooking 2 pizzas at the same time, one for myself and one for my guest, and who is sensitive to gluten, so that's why we're doing the gluten-free bread, if you want to know that. Anyway, normally I would not use gluten-free bread, even though I know it's probably better for you. Look at that, see that nice crust there? That's on the gluten-free bread. It still looks pretty good, you know. My guest is new to this gluten-free thing, and this is the first time we've had gluten-free bread. I tried it with her, and we toasted some, and it's pretty good. Tastes like bread, but it's not quite as soft or fluffy as bread, because, you know, gluten helps it rise. But anyway, still decent. I mean, you know, we ate it. Wasn't bad. See, that's what you want. That's when you know that's the right color you want. I'm gonna leave it on the other side for a little bit longer and let it brown some more, and then we are going to enjoy our grilled cheese sandwiches. So that's pretty much the finished product. On the bottom side, it'll look exactly like this for the most part. If you want to take a look, let me bring the camera over here, please, my production assistant. And you can see the bottom of that bread. That's the color you're looking for, okay? Pretty close. We can let that stay on there a little longer. This one might be done because it's smaller. I believe it is, yes. So there's that one. And that's it, guys. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. This was my first little cooking demo. I think tomorrow I'll probably make some more home fries and show you guys how I do that. I have a pretty simple way. It's something I picked up from my father. And I want to give a shout out to Jon Favreau in the movie Chef and his show on Netflix called The Chef Show. I don't know them or anything like that. I'm not promoting the show, but that's what inspired me to start really get back into grilled cheese. And then my dad used to make home fried potatoes when we were at home. Anyway, thank y'all again for watching. Take care. God bless. See you next time.